Hello, we're back, and we're talking about Evil Dead 2 this time. Now this is a film. Now, as I mentioned before, I've always preferred this one over the first film. It's a little bit more silly, and I feel like that yeah, it's got that comedy aspect, the kind of slapstick aspect to the horror, which I really love, and I think it's such a good film. So good. So yeah, we're talking about Evil Dead 2. So the film, because they couldn't use footage from the original film, because I think this was released by a different studio. They couldn't use footage from the previous film. So what they did was they kind of redid the opening for the first film, except it was just Ash and his girlfriend. So they kind of do like a short recap of the first film, but just with those two characters, rather than, I guess, paying for 5 actors. 5 actors who've been in it for like a few seconds. Yeah, they just went nah, fuck that. So yeah, they kind of do a kind of a quick version of the first film in the opening, and then it cuts to basically what happened at the end of the last film, was where Ash gets kind of attacked by the Deadites and kind of gets thrown around for a bit. So it's they're continuing on from the previous film, just they have a recap, essentially a kind of a recap that's not a recap because they can't use the previous footage. Which is, I think, has generally confused people about this film, because they're like, wait, what? Why is he with her again? But he's not. What? I'm so confused. So you could, and there's something I do want to do at some point, is to do an edit of just like cutting it at the end of like the first film, and then cutting in what happens in this film, right up until the bit where the Deadites basically kind of they zoom in through the house and kind of attack him. It'd be a long ass time, but it's less than 3 hours, which is not bad for if you're cutting 2 films together. This film's 84 minutes here, which is quite short overall. Not a bad thing at all. So Evil Dead 2, like I said, it's got so much sillier, and kind of has fun with the horror. Got like a book that says, when Ash loses his hat, and there's a book that says "Farewell to Arms." It's like, come on, they're clearly having fun with it in this one. And it's great. Like, that's why I think I prefer this one. I think it's also because maybe, I loved old slapstick comedy. I would watch like old Laurel and Hardy with like my dad, and so that really appealed to me. As a fan of those things, I'm like, yes. And because I wasn't a big horror fan, I don't know why I watched this as a thing. Maybe it's because it's just like Bruce Campbell. I was like, fuck yeah, because I was probably watching a whole bunch of Burners at the time, and he's great in that. I feel like that's probably why I picked it up. I'm trying to cast my mind back to under 8 years ago, and going, why did I buy this? Because it's literally like the only horror thing I'd owned for quite a while. Now I've got a whole box of horror stuff, but it was like the only thing I had was horror based. And yet you're there. For some reason I bought it. I don't know. It's just like us. It's so good. It's just like there's so much better going for it, and just the way they kind of use the Deadites, and they're kind of very like silly, which they kind of were in the first film, but I feel like they went for more towards that. And that's what I love. I love the Deadites almost just fucking with Ash. We don't really know why, particularly. At least in these movies. I might be in the TV series. I can't remember. The Deadites just love having fun. Like, they kill everyone else. They almost try and take over Ash. Especially in this film, he gets possessed, but he's somehow able to fight it off. So yeah, can't speak. I'm just like, so yeah, but we have like Ash and basically have a kind of family that's related to the guy who owns the cabin. We kind of hear, and we kind of hear is what we kind of see as a possessed wife. So yeah, so that's how they kind of have this whole bunch of new people with Ash. I think he's got a little bit mad because you come into a cabin with a guy who's, there's all bloods around, body parts around, and you're like, I think this guy has gone a little bit mad. He's covered in blood. You're like, this guy's gone mad. And obviously, eventually they go, oh yeah, hang on a minute. No, he's not mad. He's actually the most sane person here. Oh no. Oh no. And hilarity ensues. And by hilarity, I mean murder. So much murder. But yeah, it's just like, it's Ash. You can kind of see he's going a little bit nuts, a little bit doolally in some of these scenes, and it just is perfect for Bruce Campbell. Yeah, they're clearly playing to his strengths, because he's just brilliant at it. He's clearly great at playing just completely fucking insane. You can tell this is kind of wearing on Ash that he's lost a bunch of his friends and everyone's been murdered around him, and he's gone a little bit, which is like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think Ash is the only one who survives in this film. Spoilers. Yeah, he's the only one who survives, and it basically almost immediately sets up for the third film, Army of Darkness, where Ash gets basically thrown into the Middle Ages. And that's kind of how they leave off the film, is just like Ash by himself in the middle. Well, not by himself, a bunch of knights show up, and they kind of set up Army of Darkness, which is a great film. I'm trying to remember how I personally rate these films. I think I prefer Army of Darkness, but I can't remember. Honestly, it's been a while. So I look forward to going back and watching that and seeing if I still agree with my old hypothesis, or if I don't. What I think of it now. Overall, I still prefer Evil Dead 2 is just so much better. It's just, you can clearly tell they've learned a lot from the first film. When you look at it, it's just like, the other thing that's a little bit jarring in this film is there's some stuff where I'm like, oh, that's obviously model work, but I'm like, well, yeah, what else? They can't do CGI or anything. They can't do any of that stuff. So you're like, well, obviously, there's a horror film. They didn't have a huge budget, so it made the most sense. But yeah. That's enough of me rambling. I think I will sign off here. And yeah, we'll be talking about Army of Darkness next week. And then I'll finally watch The Evil Dead from 2013. I will watch the new film at some point. But yeah, we'll get to it at some point. I look forward to watching it. It's I hear it's more extreme than the original, which makes sense because I feel like Sam Raimi's kind of got carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wants. Though it's not directed by him, but it's written by him, I think. Wait, let me double check while I'm here, even though I'm talking about the next film. I think it's definitely produced by him. Oh no, it's not. It's based on it, but I think he's more of a producer on it. But yeah, I think they have more carte blanche to do what they want because he's associated with it. Yeah, that's enough of me rambling. For now, I say, live long and prosper, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Bye for now.